Mary Davis is the Assistant Director for Sponsored Programs at the University of Central Florida. She has worked in the Office of Research for 6 years, and she began her career at UCF in financial compliance. She transitioned over to the proposal team and is currently the Assistant Director for the Award Management team. Felicia Suku is a post-award finance specialist for sponsored programs at University of Central Florida. She has worked at UCF for over 9 years at both the central and departmental levels. She began her career at UCF as a student assistant for the Office of Research, and along the way she has earned a certificate in research administration from UCF and her master's in business administration. She has experience with the full life cycle of the award from proposal preparation to project closeout. Felicia is currently one of the senior award manager of the award management team. Welcome, Mary and Felicia.
Had to find the unmute button. It was in a different place today. Sorry about that. Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Davis. Celeste, thank you for the great introduction. Felicia?
Hi, I'm Felicia, and thank you again, Celeste.
All right, so today we're going to talk about managing post-award during the time of change, because award management, we actually had quite a few things happen in 2020. And so we just tried to kind of put it together on how we kept it together, I guess, because it was a year of big change for everybody. So, all right, what changed, you might ask? So we went through a very large reorganization with award management. We actually got combined with our grants accounting team. And when we became part of grants accounting and grants accounting joined with us, we also had a new group called financial management reporting that popped in also. So 3 groups became what is now known as the Office of Research's post-award unit. What did that mean for us? We had a lot of tasks shift for everybody. We had tasks that we took on. We gave some of our tasks to grants accounting. Financial management reporting took on some of our tasks as well. So it was a big shift for everybody, and it wasn't something that just happened overnight and everybody understood their new position. It was a lot of training, and it was a lot of cross training. It was a lot of learning new things that award management had never done before. It was also a lot of grants accountants learning things that they have never done before. Also, time of change, we decided to implement 2 new systems. We implemented Huron's HRS as our new research admin suite. And we also decided to take for PeopleSoft 9.2. For those of you who've used PeopleSoft, it is so much fun. I can't wait to talk about it. And so what that means is we had to learn 2 brand new systems that we had never really worked in as award management. We would go into PeopleSoft to pull like certain reports, but we really didn't do much more than that. And we got to really dive in and really learn a lot about PeopleSoft. Plus, we were learning Huron, which was completely brand new for us, and it was a lot of work. And so we did this while reorganizing. And what we found out was that, you know, with all new systems, there comes a lot of user testing. It's not something award management ever had to really do before. So it was a lot of time, and it was real fun for us, for my team. With user testing, also, you know, some of the grant accountants got pulled in, and so it was a really large group effort amongst the Office of Research. Grants accounting also went through change with their internal billing process. I'll let Felicia talk about that.
Okay, so not only did, like Mary mentioned, not only did award management go through some changes, but the grants accounting team did as well. They were broken up more on who we were billing versus the different colleges and areas that we provide customer service to. So they had to move from a federal, private, and state billing portfolio to now a college-based portfolio to match the Office of Research. And with that, new grants accountants had to learn both sides, seeing if, how federal does their billing or how private does their billing. So much fun. Then the newly formed group Financial Management Reporting also had the new processes that they had to learn, which was a combination of a lot of award management and grants accounting tasks put onto one area, which included deliverables monitoring, subaward invoicing, the journals and requisition approvals, closeouts, and so much more that we may not know of yet.
Yep. And then while we're doing all of that, coronavirus hit, right? And that changed all of our worlds. Everything changed after that, and it just made work even more interesting.
Yes.
So next, what we're going to talk about, though, is what was the need for the reorganization?
So we mentioned that we wanted to combine the post-award actions into one area. Previously, there was several different leaderships as far as post-award items go. We wanted to combine that into one unit so that way there's one leadership. That way people aren't duplicating tasks, duplicating efforts. You have a one-stop shop for everything post-award wise, from award setups to closeouts. Not only that, for UCF, we did help our contracts office by taking on federal grant processing. So what we mean by that is federal grants, especially like NSFs, don't really need negotiations. So award management took that on to review it and go straight to like award setups. So that way the contracts office can focus on the stuff that do need negotiations.
Yep. Yes. All right, and then we took a system. Earned on. It was called ARGIS, and Felicia's going to talk about ARGIS for you.
Okay, so like Mary mentioned, we did change out our system. So our system was ARGIS. It was a homegrown system that didn't take any more updates, or we weren't able to update it because it was so custom. We had it specific to UCF. We had so much customization, it just could not handle the updates that we needed. So how did we fix this? Well, we spent lots of money and time reviewing several different systems to see what could we replace ARGIS with. What we decided to go with was PeopleSoft 9.2 and Huron Grants software. The PeopleSoft 9.2, the reason why too is we did have PeopleSoft already implemented, but we wanted an upgraded version of it. And then Huron, which we'll talk about later, did provide some of the similarities that we had with ARGIS. So we get into it a little bit. Okay, PeopleSoft. Okay, this is not Mary's favorite system at all. No.
I'm not as adapted to PeopleSoft as my team is. Try to stay out of it and let them take care of that part.
Yes. So PeopleSoft is our database for all financial information for the university, including our research awards. The 9.2 version includes the grants module, which is what helped us connect to Huron. Previously, with ARGIS, we didn't have that module in there. However, there was a downfall, and it was that PeopleSoft and Huron didn't talk to each other unless we had this module in there. So in order to do that, we did have to integrate it and write up the script for it, go through testing for it, and see if it will work. So what we did was we implemented Huron first, and instead of having them talk to each other right away, while everybody was writing the script, we were actually doing duplicate entry into the PeopleSoft system. So, yes. So something that took like 30 minutes took probably an hour, 2 hours to complete. But we did have... It
was a real rough ride at first for my team. It it was something where she said we went from setting up awards in 30 minutes, and sometimes it would take us a couple of days to get the award fully set up. So it was a change for all of UCF.
Yes. And the implementation wasn't something that was quick. We were scheduled to have it in February, but with user testing, which took a little bit of our time as well, we found out issues, we had to change the system, had to change the scripts, and we finally implemented it in May 2020. So, yay, implementation. Not only did we have an update, but the PeopleSoft also, as far as grants accounting and in their billing cycle, it would allow them to invoice differently, as then also the budgets, how they were set up was we were able to restrict on a category basis, and like each individual category versus a lump sum combining different categories together where they may not have any restrictions per the award terms and conditions. So that's a very neat feature of the PeopleSoft 9.2 upgrade. And then the biggest thing is that we had new players in the group. When in our old system, it was award management talking to our CRADA, which was the IT for ARGIS, and for PeopleSoft in some aspects. That's who we would talk to for all the issues, errors that may come up. Well, now we have the IT for Office of Research and the IT for our finance and accounting group talking to each other to help us with any errors that may come through with the systems. And we're very grateful for them. Thank you.
Very grateful. They give us great advice.
Yes.
Especially Mike. They help Mike a lot because Mike breaks the system all the time.
Yes.
So why Huron? We had, I think it was 3 different systems that we were looking at implementing. Huron won out, and I'm actually very excited that it did because it's a great system. It's a very intuitive system. It kind of just leads you into the next step way. The status transparency was another really big deal for us. And what I mean by status transparency is in ARGIS, it was either pending or it was funded. That's all the PIs and the research admins could see. With HRS, see just about step by step where it's at in the system. It's being set up, it's with the department, it's back with the award management team. It's there's a couple of different statuses when people are reviewing, and then it's complete and it's ready to be set up, and immediately because it sends out emails to you. It matched really well with our existing fields from ARGIS. So ARGIS was page by page, tab by tab, also very intuitive, and it what are your dates, what are your funding dates, how much money in each category. ARGIS had billing, so it ran through the whole gamut of everything, your deliverables, the due dates, your sub deliverables, their due dates. So it matched really well. Another really cool thing about HRS is that the PIs and the departments are able to actually go into the system and load their own. What used to happen is we would request the budget, they'd give it to us, we'd put it in the system. They might be like, oh, well, we want, we actually wanted to put this here, and then we'd have to go back into the system. Now they're able to go in and kind of set up their own budget per their internal budgets, and it gives them a little bit more access and help of setting up their own project. Also, something really cool is that the PI and the department are able to go in and upload their deliverables and mark them complete in the system. So what would happen before in ARGIS is they'd have to email it to one of their award managers. The award manager would get around to that email, we'd get it uploaded, and then we'd go in and check it. And sometimes human error always happens, and you might have accidentally marked the wrong deliverable. And what would happen is the system at ARGIS would generate these emails to tell the PA like, hey, you're late. And it would just keep sending this email over and over and over. And then the PI would have to contact us because it didn't come to us. It would only go to the faculty member. So then they have to call us and say, hey, you guys, it's still showing late. And that's when we, oh, okay, this is what happened. Now they're able to go in and complete this task on their own. So So far, it's worked out really well. I haven't really had many complaints about it. Most people enjoy that they can go in and get rid of the email for themselves. Another really cool thing is it's easy to read the overview of the award. With ARGIS, it was just data input. You really couldn't see a whole lot of what was included in the award unless you went tab by tab by tab. In HRS, you can pull it up, view the award, and all of your information flows on one page, very end. So you can see the start date, the end date, your prime sponsor. If it's flow through, you can see who the flow through prime agency is. You can see your deliverables. You can see the budget. You have access to see all of your information on one scrolling page. The department can track most actions. So ARGIS was a system that did not communicate to the PIs pretty much anything. HRS though, when we move it from one status to another, the PI can track that. If they need to go in and see who touched it last in the history, they can see Felicia was working on it. And we use the history a lot to make comments so that people know where it's at, last time we updated it, what we're waiting on. It's another place where they can also see like, oh, okay, this is with my department. Let me go follow up with my research admin to see what's going on. Another thing is it's kind of a one-stop shop for UCF now. We have our proposals go through HRS, contracts and subs go through the agreements section. We have IRB, IACUC, and there's a couple of more sections I do believe that will be coming through HRS as well. So why Huron? Because we love Huron. There's always going to be issues no matter what system you use. And we found that out. Some of the issues we found out really quickly, and some of them we're still stumbling on things every now and then. We're like, oh, we never ran across that yet. So how, this is why it's an issue now. HRS, like I said, just we could enter the billing information. In HRS, we cannot do that. There's no section for billing. Oh, somebody I think asked a question.
Ladies, we have a question.
Okay.
During the award setup, is the PI email added to Huron for the grant contract so they can access and add updates? So during the award setup, is the PI email that is added to HRS for that grant, can that be accessed and can it be updated?
Yes, so with Huron, we're actually able to send emails through the system, and that logs a comment in the history for everyone to access. If you send an email outside the system to the PI or to the department, if it is important to the action that we're doing, we do upload it on the history, as we'll just PDF the email and attach it.
Good.
Okay.
All right. So back to the HRS and billing. The issue that for I guess for my team, the reason it kind of seems like an issue is we would enter the billing information into ARGIS and it would automatically integrate over to PeopleSoft. Well, that doesn't happen now because we don't have a billing section in HRS. That data still has to be put into PeopleSoft just at a later date and time. Also, HRS doesn't have it didn't have all the customers that were in PeopleSoft. It only pulled, I think, the sponsored program customers. And so there was a lot of customers that had to be added or updated in the system. And I actually have a person on my team who does that. So, they carry their own award management portfolio, and she also updates and adds all the customers as well. So that was kind of an issue too, because she's done a lot of backlogs and it's taken a lot of time, but now it's in the system and everything flows really nicely now because of her hard work. HRS was not integrated with PeopleSoft. So what that meant was lots of user testing and double data entry. And when I say that, we literally would have to put the information into HRS, save it into a status, pop over to PeopleSoft, and then enter all the same information and then some more in order to have it in both places because it wasn't talking to each other yet. Our leadership decided 0 customizations because we really did back ourselves into a corner with ARGIS. Like Felicia stated, it just put us in a position where we couldn't take updates, and the amount of research that we're bringing in right now is, you know, it's amazing, and we needed something that could handle that amount. So we said no customizations. And so because of things like that, the only issue we found for award management is you cannot sort by your PI. In ARGIS, we could put the PI's name in the system, it would pop all their awards into a list, and you could go through the list. We can't do that in the funding awards section. You can pull them in proposals, but you can't do it in the funding area. That was a little bit time consuming because now we have to go somewhere else to pull the list if we need it. Complex documentation management. We used to take everything from a system called Terra, we would upload it, and everything per the award was right there in the system. You could find everything you needed, from proposal stuff to contract stuff, budget, invoicing, yeah, everything, sub-award information. It was all in one place. And with HRS, you have documentation in your proposal section, you have it in your agreement section, you'll have some in your funding award section. And so for us, it was a little tricky trying to figure out like how to get everything pulled together and in one place. But it works now. We have things that were figured out with the help of our IT department. They've been amazing at helping us push through with HRS and figure out ways to make it easier on us. So the thing about HRS that we really liked is that it was supposed to stop all of our Outlook email from being overwhelmed, because I mean, like most people, we probably get a couple of hundred emails a day, and we were like, going to close down on that email. But now we have double email, it seems like. I personally do not have double email because nobody sends anything to my inbox, because I don't do the awesome work that they do. I just get, oh, hey, you forgot to push this over to someone emails. But now my team also has their HRS inbox that they have to keep up with. And they also have their Outlook inbox that they keep up with. And the thing about the HRS inbox is that it's great, but there are some things that status up certain statuses that do not show in your inbox. So you have to kind of keep an eye on it. And what it's meant is my team is an offline list as well, so that they remember, like, oh, even though it isn't in my inbox list, it's still on my list of things to do. So HRS is great. Just like every system though, there's always issues, and we're working through them. And so far we've been successful at it for a little over a year, and excited about it. Now we'll talk about PeopleSoft and its fun issues.
Yes, so just like Huron, PeopleSoft had their issues as well. Anybody that has worked in PeopleSoft knows it's not user-friendly. It's not, it really isn't.
It is not. Like I said, I can get through like one tab, and if it's not saved in my favorites, I'm washed out.
Yeah, and it's really not intuitive. There are different tabs you have to go to. They don't link to each other. Not all of them do. So you'll have to go through breadcrumbs and then go through a different set of breadcrumbs to get to 2 different sections that you have to fill out. With that, there's also the system access for like mailing address instead of email addresses. Now, come on, we're in the 21st century now, and most people accept the emails. So that's one of the downfalls of the PeopleSoft, is that it's not really up to date as much as we would like.
And as slow as USPS is right now, you might not ever get that letter anyway.
Hey, I'm still getting Christmas cards, so there we go. Another thing, like I mentioned, there are different tabs to go through when setting up stuff, an award in PeopleSoft, but not only are there different tabs, there are multiple pages to go through. The multiple pages can be a little confusing and complex, just because you have to know exactly what goes into that page, because the same item can go somewhere else, but they're called the same thing. Then one of the biggest thing that we have learned, a lot of us has learned on this PeopleSoft journey, is you cannot use the back button on the web browser. No. What happens is the system, I don't know, it just decides to crash, or there's no connection. You have a screen that pops up that literally says no connection. So anything that you did not save prior to hitting that back button will not save, and you have to start all over again.
Mike, the guy we were talking about earlier on my team, he learned the hard way about the save button.
Yes, all the time.
All the time. You gotta hit save on everything.
Yes, and that is another thing. The system doesn't automatically save. That we actually do have to save before moving to a different tab, before moving to a different page. It has been a journey on that. And then so we did talk about integration. We did spend some time to write a script so Huron can talk to PeopleSoft and things can get integrated over, so that way we can get rid of the duplicate entry into both systems. Well, it didn't take away all of the entries. We still have to go in and add a few things to PeopleSoft that we did add into Huron, but it's just for some reason won't integrate over, as well as some others. So as Mary mentioned, our billing information is not in Huron, it is all in PeopleSoft. So the contract setup, which is known as the billing section, it can be a little bit daunting in PeopleSoft and confusing because there are so many sections to enter in. Not only sections, there's different tabs, there's different areas. It's complex. And from somebody that award management has never done any of the billing stuff in PeopleSoft, it was our most challenging area to comprehend.
I did some user testing, and I still to this day have not gotten the contract setup portion correct. I can't, from my experience, it's a lot. It's a lot of, for me, there's just so many moving parts, because you got to go to this page and then you got to save, and then you got to go back to this page and save there, and then you got to skip like 3 more pages. It was quite confusing for me, but my team has Pat now. They're great at it.
Yes, we are. Some of us. We got this.
All right, and then 2020 had one more thing throw at us. Beginning of the year, the Rona, right? For everyone, I mean, all of our lives changed, and it's been a lot. It's been a lot. For me personally, it's been a lot. Pandemic, it became a word, part of our vocabulary, that I've never used the word pandemic as much as I have in the past 10 months of my life. I might have read about it in high school, but it was nothing that I never ever thought that I would live through. And now here we all are. It's going to be in my kid's history book one day, right? Another thing is wash your hands. I mean, I always wash my hands, but I really wash my hands a lot now. And Felicia just told me what the song was the other day when we were actually talking about the presentation, because you got to wash your hands for 20 seconds. And I was like, isn't there like a song? And she said, it's the happy birthday song. And I was like, oh, well, that's the thing. I don't do birthdays. So, so that was a big thing. Don't touch stuff, wear gloves, don't wear gloves, sanitize, don't over sanitize. And it was a huge change. And then, everybody was scared to be around other people. And for me and my team, that's really hard. We're always together, trying to figure things out, trying to learn new things. And I don't know about y'all, but quarantining at home has been rough for me, because I like to be at work and I like to be around my coworkers and all my other units that I work with. So that's been hard for me. Masks, oh man, that has probably been the hardest thing for me. Even as a little kid, my mom couldn't get me to wear on my face. It just was never my jam, and it's still not my jam. I probably have 35 different masks, and I have one that's my favorite. It's been rough, and then people become paranoid because some people don't wear masks and some people do wear masks, and it's not mandated. So it's been a wild ride with masks, and I still hate them. They make your lips chapped and stuff like that. This probably right here was the biggest thing for me and my team was work from home. Because like I said, there's not a day goes by that Felicia's not in my office. My guy, Mike, most of the women on my team, we spend a lot of time together because nobody ever has the same problem. And so it's been hard for us to not have that close knit communication where I can just walk. I really don't walk across the hall. I just kind of yell, hey, come here. And she just walks over to my office. But that was hard for us. And, you know, we had to take our monitors home. We had to take our laptops home, and we had to figure out how to hook it all up. Because like I said, we have a great IT department who does all of that for us. Mm-hmm. And I was just telling Felicia and Jennifer and Celeste during our green room session is my laptop flew backwards, and they were like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I have to like prop it up on books because I'm over 6 feet tall. And so if I don't, it sits down here and I have to point it up, and those are not flattering angles. But I think the hardest thing has been, one, everybody on my entire team gets caught not talking because they're on mute. And half the other 8 of us are like, you're on mute. And like we're screaming at the monitor like they can't hear us, right? And learning how to Zoom, first of all, it was interesting because all we ever did was Skype. And then I had some people who went home and their Skype didn't work, still doesn't work. So then we had to find alternate methods to communicate. Isha and Shannon, I can text them or message them at any point and say, set up a Zoom meeting. And I'm pretty sure they keep it open all day long because within 30 seconds, there's a Zoom meeting in my inbox. I had to do a lot of things like we hired a new person over quarantine and working from home. So interviewing people over Zoom and trying to get a feel for them and let them get a feel for us. And we did hire, and she's done amazing. And we finally got to meet her back in December. So she was with us for almost like half a year before we actually met face to face. And it's been interesting because we've had to train a new team member on all of our policies and procedures and processes and the new systems over Zoom. And so it has its pitfalls, but it has its great ability to share my screen, and we can walk people through the process and how to do things and how to set things up. And I finally learned how to like put a background screen on my Zoom, which that took me like 6 months to figure out. But Zoom's been good. It eats my internet though. All right, Felicia.
Yes. So as Mary mentioned, the COVID-19 did change everything. So in addition to learning new systems, doing our reorg, keeping up with award setups, award management tasks, post-award tasks, we had to learn how to work remotely. So VPNs, our internets did not like the capability of all of this. Fixing up our monitors, finding a space in our house to set up.
Where everybody else is not.
Yes. Then the Zoom meetings. Like I said, award management is more, in person. We talk to each other, figure out the issues, because really that's all we can do for award management is figuring out, solving problems. That's pretty much it. But we have to do all of that through Zoom meetings. So we stay in Zoom meetings a lot. We've become very familiar with it. The ins and outs. The mute button still trips us up all the time. Then, like Mary mentioned, we had to learn new systems through the online meetings, but also hire somebody and teach them the online systems. So while we're still learning the new systems, we had to teach somebody else. And like I mentioned earlier, integration didn't happen until May 2020. We were already working from home then. So we had to do this duplicate entry, learning PeopleSoft. Okay, all of that with everything else going on. That was the hardest, I will say. Then because we are home, we don't have the access that we would like to make sure everything is consistent among the group. But it actually did bring to light some of the inconsistencies that we did have, so we can write up some of those processes so we can be consistent moving forward. Emails and online communications we thought the emails are supposed to go away with our new systems. No, it's been more since working from home. That's our only way of communication for the most part. Everyone's emailing you, from the PIs to the research administrators at the college and department level. You have your outside entities emailing you as well because they're not in the office. So it's not like they can call you because we're not there either. So you have a lot of that. Not only
What I can say with the online communication though, I have talked to and met more faculty over Zoom, Skype, and Microsoft Teams than when I was on campus, because now I have the ability to just face-to-face Zoom with them or whatever. And so for me, that's been kind of cool because I've actually got to meet faculty that just were never on campus and just didn't have time to meet. So for me, that's kind of been a cool aspect of getting to know more faculty.
And then managing our stress. Our job as research administrators are stressful enough, but now by working at home, we have home life that's now being commingled in. And then we just have the whole pandemic, health, everything. So our stress levels have been times 10.
Right.
Yeah.
So for me personally, like I said, working from home was a bit of a struggle. My spouse works from home, has for 10 plus years. So ins and outs, perfect. Knows how to separate their day, how to separate work from home. That was really hard for me because there was most weeks I would stay at work till 6:30 at least, making sure everything got done. And then I'd come home, I'd have dinner and go to bed. Now I'm finishing my MRA program this semester. But I do homework from this room, from this area. I do my job all day from this room, from this area. It's been hard for me because there's mornings when I wake up and I'm like, if I hear my wife or son say one word, I might freak out on them. So for me, that's been the roughest part, is just constantly being at home and not seeing my team, because we do team lunches like once a week. We celebrate birthdays. We do happy hours face to face. We spend a lot of time together. So some of the ways we've figured out to manage stress was Zoom, right? So we do happy hours on Friday. We do our team meetings on Fridays. We also celebrate birthdays. For me personally, I celebrated my 40th birthday in quarantine. Had a Zoom session, and my wife joined it. My little brother joined it. Amber came, and so it was cool, like, to bring everybody together and have that ability. I get to, like, one of my favorite people is on the sub-award team, and I get to Zoom with her to see her face to face. And so we do really cool things. We call her the cruise director. Her name is Shannon. She makes sure to always keep us together, and we celebrate birthdays and holidays and just pretty much any holiday she can think of. So managing stress has been difficult for all of us, but we've done really well. There are days though when I'm like, if I have one more Zoom session, I just might pull my hair out. Because believe it or not, I just got a haircut. I hadn't cut my hair in like 6 months. So I had hair to pull out. But yeah, I'm sure everybody has had the stressful times and trying to figure out how to make it all work. And I'm glad I have my team because they definitely get me through it. All right, I think that's just about it. Does anybody have any questions? See anybody popping up? Does anybody have any thoughts? I think my screen just quit sharing.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Any thoughts on it? All right. Maybe you just need to vent a little bit. Anybody? We're always here to listen to people vent if they need to vent.
Yes.
Great comments in the chat box, ladies. A great presentation.
Try to enjoy your family even though you're working from. Yes, that would, like I said, for me that was the hardest part, is just trying to figure out, like, we're not used to being around. I'm around Felicia and my team more than my wife and my kids, so it was hard. It was hard for me. And like I said, it's okay if you want to vent and gripe. We're award management. We do it all. From the beginning to the end, we take care of it. And last, I would like to say special thanks to award management. You guys helped us put this presentation together. You guys gave us some great ideas. And I don't know that we would have gotten through 2020 without each other. This is what I look like through most of my Zoom sessions. I'm always making funny faces at people, trying to make them laugh.
Talking.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's Felicia talking. She's always the one talking, some kind of training to us or whatever. And them all obligingly smile at us. And you guys have a great day. And if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot some emails at us or whatever you need. And enjoy your next presentation. Yay, Frack.
Yay.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Y'all have a great day.
This concludes our session on managing Post Award during a time of change. Thank you everyone for participating. Thanks again to Mary and Felicia. If you have any questions for our speakers, you can always send them to the presenters.